Hi, this is Kennon Wesley Mason. I am the founder and CEO of Kennetic-Fit and Wellness. And for the next several minutes, I'd like for you to take the time out to sit back, relax, turn the volume up, put the headphones on, or your headset, or your ear pods, or your earpiece, and take a listen, open your mind, as I explain in detail the practice or holistic psychology as a practice, or the practice of holistic psychology. Some people may or may not have known that this practice even exists. All of us are holistic by nature, and because of that, all of us have the potential to heal holistically, or holistically so we can be whole again. Many of us have picked ourselves apart, giving ourselves to different people, giving our energy to different people, giving our energy to other situations, giving our energies to everyone else except for energizing ourselves to make ourselves better. And because of this, so many people develop adverse behaviors and adverse emotions by way of their behaviors, or adverse behaviors by way of their negative thinking. So once we realize and acknowledge responsibility for the fact that we do have a brain, we do have a mind, and we have total control over both. We have 100% control over both our mind and our brain. We have 100% control of our thinking and how we choose to channel our emotions. So once we learn this and use it and practice it, or use it as a daily practice, we all have the potential to begin to make ourselves better. Life is supposed to be fun, and a fun learning experience for all of us. All of us can learn something from each other in the most minute of ways. We all can learn. Every day is to be a learning experience. And considering holistic psychology as a therapy remedy may put you on that path to creating or carving out a better life journey for yourself. So take a listen, and it doesn't matter what the situation is. It doesn't matter what the situation is, whether it's depression, anxiety, compulsiveness, relationships that have gone sour, whether it's domestic relationships, relationships between parent and child, relationships between friends, friendships that have gone sour, business relationships. It does not matter what the situation is. When you acknowledge that you can get to the root cause of what has caused or what has created the adverse circumstances or perpetual adverse circumstances in one's life, then we can move forward in creating solutions or your quote plan of action so you can be better, or you can begin to make yourself better over time. And people will start to see this, and you will begin to feel better about you. So take this into consideration as you listen. The video is just under an hour long, and some of you may not watch the whole thing, which is fine. There's a plethora of information in this specific video because I wanted to give not only a synopsis, if you will, of what holistic psychology is, but also, again, give some examples of what's going on in society with the standard practices when it comes to psychology or psychiatry, and how society has been affected by some of the ways of certain practices, and also the drug industry as well. Prescription drugs, anti-psych meds, antidepressants, reuptake inhibitors, you name it. We've heard of all of them, and we know how we know and understand how huge and how much the opioid crisis has grown, and how it's affected more and more and more people over the last decade. Actually, over the last maybe 2 decades, since prescription drugs became legal to advertise on television. So all these factors definitely contribute. So take a listen, open your mind. If anything resonates, feel free to give me a call or feel free to contact me, and I'd love to speak with you, have a brief consultation, and we can go from there, and you can be on your journey to making yourself a better person. So take a listen, and I can't wait to hear from you. So a question I get quite frequently is, what is holistic psychology as opposed to clinical psychology or psychiatry? Which is a legitimate question. So I'm going to explain in as much detail as I can and as quickly as I can what holistic psychology is and how you can benefit from it, or how you can benefit from it better than possibly some of the other therapies that you may have experienced. Not saying that it is the best therapy, because honestly, I don't know if there is a such thing as a best way of therapy, or a best way of making yourself better, or a best way of coming to certain cognitions about yourself and about life. So I'm going to do the best that I can to explain holistic psychology in a manner that's understandable and easy to comprehend for everyone, because holistic psychology is for everyone. If you have a brain, holistic psychology can be for you. And again, it's for anyone and everyone that's ready to take on that challenge of facing themselves, facing you, not anyone else, you facing you. And once you face you and get to know you and understand you, you will be a better you. Not according to what anyone else thinks of you, not according to what the neighbor thinks of you, not according to what your parents think of you, or your spouse, or your children. What's most important is what you think and believe about you. And unfortunately, many people have belief systems that have taken their life journey in an adverse direction. So I'm here to offer an alternative or a different option of healing or making yourself better as a daily practice. So what is holistic psychology? In a nutshell, what I'm going to do is actually I'm going to do this in 2 parts. And that way you'll know what the origin and history is, a brief history. And also I'll give you some of my perspectives and some of my insight on holistic psychology as I've learned it over an 11-year period as I'm speaking right now. So, holistic psychology, or as it has been explained by Dr. Dolores Seymour, who created this entire curriculum. Dr. Dolores Seymour, PhD in psychology and a doctor in metaphysical science. So she created a wonderful curriculum, and I'm so happy that I was able to participate when I did, because Dr. Seymour, she's no longer with us, and the American Institute of Holistic Health and Wellness is no longer in existence. Oh gosh, I think it's been maybe 5 years or so now, maybe even longer. But nonetheless, I'm one of the lucky ones that has her curriculum. She wrote a wonderful book called Who Cares Why, which was a part of the curriculum. That book is no longer in print, so I'm again one of the lucky ones that was able to get that book and another book that she wrote called Create Yourself, which is a wonderful tool book of different tools and techniques that can be used again to make us all better. Because when you are better as an individual, everyone around you will begin to be better. Or if you being better is too much for your surrounding environment, then those people will repel, because they can't comprehend your renewed positive attitude that you've recreated for yourself. So Dr. Seymour laid out a very precise and specific layout of how we all can make ourselves better through ourselves, not through synthetic drug intervention or things of that nature, which has become most prevalent in today's society. If someone is diagnosed with some form of anxiety or some form of depression or some form of compulsiveness, or what the psychiatry industry calls disorders. Disorders, in theory, based on a prolonged behavior pattern, and standard medicine, or standard allopathic medicine, or the standard Western way, is that when there is a clinical diagnosis of these conditions, that there has to be some sort of, or typically there is a intervention through synthetic drugs, whether they're reuptake inhibitors or anti-psych meds or anti-depression, anti-anxiety, all the anti-drugs. And once we start going down that road can lead to more prolonged or adverse conditions, because of the synthetic nature of the synthetic nature of your pharmaceutical drugs that we see on TV every day. If you're depressed, ask your doctor about this drug. If you're feeling this way, ask your doctor about this drug. Well, holistic psychology says that if you are depressed, or if you have any form of anxiety, it's because of what you have visually conjured up in your own brain by way of whatever you've experienced over your lifetime or whatever you've experienced recently. everything is a creation of our brain or our mind, or the brain-mind connection, which turns into the brain-body connection or mind-body connection, which we call, in clinical psychology, is called psychosomatic. And which is okay when you understand, or when we all understand, how our brains function and how our thinking can make or break our life journey. Our thinking, whether it's positive thinking or negative thinking, whether it's positive emotions by way of your positive thinking, or whether it's negative emotions by way of your negative thinking. All of it comes from you. All of it comes from me. Not outside influences. All outside influences can do is just that, influence. But they can't make you think a certain way. Only you can do that. And holistic psychology gives tools and techniques so you can get to the root cause of what's creating the anxiety, the depression, the negative circumstances, or the perpetual negative circumstances that keep occurring over and over and over again. If it comes to, if relationships is the subject matter at hand, whether it's relationships with a spouse, or relationships with children, relationships with other family members, mom, dad, or friendship relationships that have taken an adverse turn. All of these can be, all of these symptoms of life, or adverse symptoms of life, can be rectified or can be changed into a positive outcome once a positive solution, or what we call plan of action, is created by you first and foremost. Because no one can change you except for you. Only you can change yourself. Once you change yourself, everything in your circle of influence will begin to change as well. But you have to start it first. So we can be better. We can be better human beings inside and outside, within and without. And we can channel and turn ourselves into the ultimate success story and clear out all the negatives that have been plaguing us for a lifetime. Because anything holistic psychology is about getting to the root cause. Getting to the root cause and acknowledging the root cause, or root causes, as it may be, and acknowledge them and take responsibility for them. Pull up those roots, dig them out, and release them. Let them go. All the negative emotions, all the hurts, resentments, the anger, you will feel, and your heart will feel 10 times better when you release negative emotions. You release them. You dig them up, just like you dig up the weeds in your garden. It's the same concept. You dig up the weeds and you release them. You throw them away because they're no longer needed. They were never needed. They don't serve anyone. They're not serving you. All the negative hurts, the anxiety, the depression, it's not hurting anyone but you. So why not change it? Or do certain things to change it? Or to start to change it so you can start to feel better? This is what holistics bring forth. Getting to the root cause of any situation and using certain tools so you can be better, so you can release all this negative energy off of your mind and off of the heart. So the heart won't be heavy anymore. The heart can be light and happy and cheerful and serve you better. Serve you. Your brain is here to serve you. Your brain is your ultimate genie lamp. I mean, it can create all the successes, health, financial success, relationship success. Your brain and your mind can create all of that for you. Or, depending on your experiences or how you filter or process your experiences, your mind can also bring you despair and depression and chronic anxiety and panic, mania, all of it. But the choice is yours. You can choose how you can choose how your life journey will be, or how your life journey will be conducted. That's all up to you. You're in control. No one controls your brain except for you. No one controls your brain except for you. Now, outside influences can influence your brain to think differently, but it can't. Outside influences can't control your thinking. It can only influence, but you have 100% control of your thinking and your emotions, your thoughts. You have 100% control of all of it. It all belongs to you. No one else has possession of your brain and mind except for you. So how about taking control of it? Not outside influences and experiences. The number one disease of the mind is mysticism. That's the number one disease of the mind. Mysticism. Believing that you are not in control of your life journey, but that outside influences control your life journey. Mysticism. Believing the invisible forces outside of you or the visible forces outside of you. Mysticism. The disease of the mind. It's only one. Mysticism. Believing that you don't have control over your life, but that outside influences have control over your life. Total control. Mysticism. The truth of the matter is that you have total control over everything that happens in your life. Total control, especially when you're in adulthood. Childhood, granted, it may be limited, but in adulthood, you have total control. Total control. And actually, in childhood, you have total control over your mind and brain, but because of adult influences, we all know how that goes. But nonetheless, we all have total control of our brain and our mind and how we think and how we act and how we react and how we respond to our outside world. You can't change what's on the outside world. None of us can change what's on the outside world. The only thing we can change is what's on our inside world. That's it, nothing else. When you change what's on the inside, then you will perceive everything differently that's on the outside. You'll frame it differently. Same situations may be happening, but you will respond to them differently. You'll frame them differently. You'll look at them differently. You won't look at a situation like everyone else. To everyone else, that situation will be a huge problem. But not for you. That problem will be a huge situation for you to challenge and conquer and succeed. Look at it as an opportunity for you to be better. Not an overwhelming problem. That means that you are assuming that you have no power, or that the circumstances or the situation has more power than you. We always have to be in the optimistic belief that we are better. than any and all situations and circumstances. And that everything will be okay. Everything will get better. And it always does. If you believe that it will. When you believe that it will, it always does. Somehow, some way. This is the universal order. This is a universal order. I didn't create it. It's just what it is. Which is very true. Alternative medicine or alternative ways of healing have definitely stepped up, especially in what we now, I guess we can call it a post-COVID-19 era, which has definitely taken its toll on many people around the country and around the world. And so, again, people are turning, or more people are turning to more holistic means or holistic ways for healing versus what the standard is. The standard is that we believe in the magic pill or the magic injection that will make everything go away, including our emotional traumas, because the belief and the theory is that a synthetic pill will dissipate all of our emotional feelings that we've accumulated over a lifetime. A pill is going to do that according to standard American or standard Western medicine. That's been the theory for decades. The intention is for healing to occur to whatever degree, predominantly to the highest degree, whatever that means for you, getting to a higher level of consciousness. So once you get to a higher level of consciousness, anxiety will be an afterthought. Depression will be an afterthought. Compulsiveness will be an afterthought. Negative behaviors will be an afterthought. Narcissism will be an afterthought. Vanity will diminish. The heightened ego will diminish. It won't disappear because all of us have ego. All of us have vanity. But again, it's about self-control. Narcissism, it's about self-control. Self-control. Schizophrenia, self-control. Compulsiveness, self-control. Once you learn self-control, the whole body takes heed to it and begins to heal you. So for those that are ready to lay down that foundation, let's go. And let's make life better for you. And that may be one of your ultimate successes, making you better, because you are investing in you, which is what a lot of people just do not do. Take the time out to invest in themselves. We invest in everybody else. We invest our time in everything else and everybody else, but most of us never take the time out to assess and take an inventory of ourselves and have some cognitions and awakenings and discoveries about our own selves and how we can make our own selves better. So if holistic psychology or holistic counsel sounds right for you, I hope to hear from you. Thank you for tuning in, and thank you for considering Kennetic-Fit and Wellness. If you believe holistic life counsel is right for you, schedule your consultation or sessions today. Contact Kennetic-Fit and Wellness at area code 562-306-8944. And coming soon, the Kinetic Hour, conversations with you and guests. Kennetic-Fit and Wellness, mental attitude first.